During his recent blistering attack against Beijing, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo warned that China is making the world's waterways less safe for international commerce.
President Nixon once said he feared he had created a Frankenstein by opening the world to the CCP. And here we are.
And nearly 50 years after Nixon's historic meeting with Mao, the Chinese government is making aggressive moves in the Middle East, closely aligning itself with one of America's top enemies.
Iran's regime currently is looking at possibly being squeezed by sanctions to tune of $400 billion. Today, Iran has become a front porch for China rather than a backyard.
That backyard is the strategic Strait of Hormuz, a narrow waterway where much of the world's oil travels. It's also a choke point where Western and Japanese oil tankers have come under attack from the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. Most recently, Iran launched a missile from a helicopter in the strait, striking a mock-up of a U.S. aircraft carrier. The message? Despite U.S. sanctions against the regime, Iran intends to dominate the flow of oil out of the Persian Gulf. And now China enters the region as a new player. Iran has reportedly entered into a 25-year contract whereby the Chinese government would help make up for international sanctions by granting the Islamic Republic $400 billion in exchange for discount oil concessions. Mohabbat TV's Mike Ansari receives daily reports from people inside Iran.
Chinese money means Iranian political recovery and economic stability. Ayatollahs will be giving China a permanent foothold in Iran, which will enhance Chinese regional position at the cost of undermining USA.
Part of the deal reportedly grants China military use of a strategic Iranian island in the Persian Gulf, known as Kish Island. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo told Fox News China's entry into Iran will destabilize the Middle East, placing Israel, Saudi Arabia, and the Emirates at risk.
Iran remains the world's largest state sponsor of terror, and to have access to weapon systems and commerce and money flowing from the Chinese Communist Party only compounds that risk for that region.
Hudson Institute senior fellow Robert Spalding.
The world's resolving into more of a bipolar arrangement where the democracies are all united around the United States. That was evident from the decision the UK made with regard to Huawei, and then the other countries, the authoritarian regimes around China.
Spalding believes it's a pattern of behavior that we'll see a lot of in the future. And while Washington may find this new alliance worrisome, Ansari says the Iranian people also see it as troubling.
Iranians inside Iran are taking to social media, denouncing Iranian government's actions. They're saying they don't trust the Ayatollahs. They also don't trust China. They see this as a colonial contract and are looking to the West for help.
Administration critics say this alliance with China is a consequence of America's big economic squeeze against Iran. And with sanctions already in place against the regime, it appears there's little the United States can do to stop it. Gary Lane, CBN News.